YouTube 8-Bit Goomba back, and today what I'd like to do is respond to Spundy08's tag. I got two gaming moments for you, and thank you very much, Mr. Spundy, for tagging me. Let's see, first and foremost, I think everybody always tries to resort to their happiest moments, but if anybody else does this tag, I'd kind of like to see you take it where times weren't so happy. So this is my two little stories. I was 10 years old. We were at the family movie rental place, which were so cool. I used to like those back in the day. And they were selling Nintendo games, you know, complete in the box with the manual. And I remember the big sign in the window that says Nintendo games for sale, $10 a piece. Well, you know, at that time, games weren't sought after. People played them for fun. Uh, so it was great to see this wall games in their boxes and look at them and try to pick out one I wanted. And I found one. By one of my favorite childhood games, which I'm still looking for, by the way, The Flintstones. Very great game on the Nintendo, and I just had a ball with that game. It was so cool. Well, I picked it out, and I was all happy, jumping for joy. I took it up there, and she asked me how long would I like to rent it. And I got really depressed real quickly because I was like, the sign says for sale. And she looked at me, shook her head, and goes, "Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was supposed to take that down this morning. Thanks for ruining my life, lady." Not really, but it was pretty depressing when you're that young. A few years later, when I was around 13-ish, you know, you kind of get away from the Nintendo. I was moving into the Super Nintendo. And I played Final Fantasy III for the first time. Loved that game. It was so fun. I played it at my cousin's house all the time. That's all we ever played. And that's how I got started on RPGs, pretty much, for the most part. And I made the comment that day that, man, I hate this game because the first time we ever made it to the floating continent, for people who know what that is, when you're 13 and you've played that game for the first time, you can't really figure out where to go or how to level up correctly or anything. There was less strategy back then, basically, and we could never beat the floating continent. So Christmas rolls around, and I told my mom 100 times, Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 3. So what does she do? She goes to Best Buy, and she gets it. She picks it up, and she puts it in the cart. She gets all the way to the cash register with it, and my cousin decided to tell her that I didn't like that game. He was with her and my aunt that day. He just flat out told her, Anthony said he hates that game. So she ends up taking it back. Those were depressing times in my life. Thanks for the tag, Spunny, and 8-Bit Goomba out.